I am a fan of Hemmingway and the great writers in our time. And after dining at the White House in 1937, Ernest Hemingway wrote in a letter, "We had a rainwater soup, followed by a rubber squab, a nice wilted salad, and a cake some admirer had sent in. An enthusiastic but unskilled admirer." He, he learned to take up the habit of another frequent White House diner who ate 3 sandwiches at the airport before heading to dinner at the Roosevelt. Gdayall, and welcome to episode 78, First Ladies. First Ladies of the White House.
Yes. The other First Ladies. And the First Lady was Martha.
Martha.
Washington.
Oh, Martha.
She was the lady. Lady Washington.
Well, that is how the name happened for First Lady, because she was referred to as Lady Washington.
There you go.
I learned a whole bunch of trivia. It'll be spilling out everywhere.
Yeah.
Now, this all started, this idea, with Phil sent me an email that had Laura Bush's cowboy cookies recipe in it.
Yahoo.
Which I made.
Mm-hmm.
They were yum. And Phil goes, "I think this is a good idea."
There we go. So that's how some of our ideas come about.
Just like that.
Just like that.
By the way, we emailed each other and we're 3 offices away. It was quite funny.
We could have shut it down the hall.
You could have, because we've got
we do that a lot too.
Yeah, because we've got no ceilings. Yeah. So we can just yell over the top. And now, First Ladies seem to have a unique relationship with food. Different ladies. So what do you think about that?
Yeah, well, that's part of, because they have to entertain. That's their main function in life. It's entertaining.
The hostess.
Yeah, the hostess. Except some of the First Ladies help out the President Day.
That's true, which we will find out a few of those as well.
Yeah.
And also with the First Ladies, I think it's sort of like what's going on in the country at the time. So the food reflects what's happening.
What the trends are, but not all of it was successful, because we do have some of the worst foods.
Oh, wait till we get to
White
that.
House.
We might just rush through this beginning bit so we can make sure to get to that bit.
Yeah.
It's so awful. It's good.
And the First Ladies and the foods, but they brought to the White House some of their favorite dishes, I guess what they grew up with and all that. And then we're also going to have some First Lady trivia.
Just a little bit, but there's some interesting things I found out.
And before that, we're going to start with our fun facts.
Okay.
Which is like a trivia.
It is.
Yeah.
Good trivia.
So during her time at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, Mrs. Bush. Barbara Bush. Mm-hmm. Okay. But she's on the $1 bill, right? No, that was George Washington. Okay. Get confused. Anyway.
I thought Barbara she was had better teeth.
So she decorated the White House with a Christmas tree of gingerbread men. That's very festive.
That is lovely.
Yeah. I look at it. Did anybody put an aluminum tree in the White House with the little thing that turned around with the different lights? Remember that phase that we went through?
I think they could have prior that we didn't know about, because evidently Jackie Kennedy started the White House tree theme.
Yeah.
Right. So before that, they could have very well, Eisenhower could be sitting around with the little aluminum tree going. Now, Hillary Clinton, fun fact too, loves spicy food, and she keeps a bottle of hot sauce in her purse.
You sure that was true? Because maybe it was just something that Bill said, and then somebody said, and then he said, "No, that's my wife like the hottest, spiciest stuff." Yeah. So the official office of the First Lady, OFL,
which is
OFL.
You can have some brains or liver.
Was formed in 1977, establishing a hub in the East Wing of the White House. So they had their own little place to go now.
Far away from the West Wing.
Yep. Yeah, don't want to be around that stuff. The House had the First Lady, the Chief of Staff, Communication Team, Schedulers, Policy Advisors, and what's that other word? Congregate, like a congregation.
Must be.
Boy, so they went from having one lady and probably somebody that's sister to having 48 people.
Like a whole staff. That is right. Now, the First Lady, as we said earlier, of the United States is a ceremonial title bestowed to the hostess of the White House. Mm-hmm. Most commonly the wife of the sitting president. In many cases, the First Lady's role involves directing the social functions, but it can include a focus on core causes and initiatives. Now, and some of those can be, they pick out a china pattern, they do the Christmas decorating, a few things like that, which we probably see them doing.
And here's a trivia question. You know who is the official China plate company or whatever you call it. Dinnerware.
Is it Lennox?
Lennox, yes.
I still haven't got my Abraham Lincoln one out for you. I will take that out.
It's been that way for a long time. Made in New Jersey.
That's right. Nice.
Yeah. Closer to Pennsylvania, but
that's all right.
They're on that side. And Jiffy Pop was, believe it or not, a fun snack of Jackie Kennedy.
It Jiffy Pop came out in 1959, so it would have been a
new invention.
And just a little can there.
Still banned in Australia.
I know people asked for it, and we still can't get it in. So I'm very sorry. I apologize for us.
Yeah, that should be next time the ambassador comes, we should have a chat with him and
say, "Can you get the Jiffy Pop in?"
Yeah, why don't we just do a blockade of Australian products going to America or something until they free our Jiffy Pop?
Someone's going to take us up on it. We'll be in trouble. I'm sorry ahead of time.
Okay, and I got one last little bit.
Yeah.
And the first and last woman on a U.S. paper currency was Martha Washington from 1886 to 1891.
I did not know that.
So she was the one and only.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Yeah. On a $1 paper currency. I didn't even know they had $1 paper currencies then, but I guess they did.
See, right.
What's there?
We've got a 1 cent. We've got one during the Civil War. They had to come out with different.
There you go.
Because they used the metal for arms.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
For bullets.
Mm-hmm. This is a Confederate note or
I think that's a Northern note, but I'm not sure. My mother gave us.
Actually, it has the that red mark is reserve note.
There we go. So it'd be the Yankees.
And because the other one would have been a silver certificate, and then you had a Federal Reserve, and the Federal Reserve will use a red, and silver certificate was blue.
So 10-cent note.
There you go.
There you go.
And it's not a woman on it; it's some guy.
Some dude. But if only we had Martha. I'm sorry. I'm sorry about that.
That will be probably worth quite a bit of do re mi by now. Okay, and that's it. We're going for a break.
That's it.
And more about the responsibilities of the First Lady, also known as FLOTUS.
That was so funny when you started saying POTUS and FLOTUS.
FLOTUS, FLOTUS, Flashulous, it's all goes the same.
Yes,
it's FLOTUS, First Lady of the United States.
It's gone into corporate speak rather than just the First Lady.
Yeah.
President. So now the First Lady of the United States is a ceremonial position that does not come with formal roles in the federal government. Still, First Ladies have had an active presence in American life from Washington's inauguration onward, as evidenced by some of the following examples.
Yeah. Eleanor Roosevelt.
Yes.
That was her second name. Her first name was like Pam or something.
Okay, yes.
Little trivia.
And they were actually distant cousins, Eleanor and Franklin.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh.
Well, no, very far removed, but same family. Yes.
Yeah. So she was the vanguard of the era civil rights movement and the women's rights movement.
That's right. She was very involved with that.
Very active in that. Yep.
Now, Jacqueline Kennedy was an ambassador for the U.S. art and fashion. Mm-hmm. Many of her White House design choices endure to this day. Not the Rose Garden, unfortunately. And personal apparel influenced millions of women around the globe. Kennedy.
Well, her personal apparel, 1 year alone, she spent back there, 1960, $121,000 on garments. So that would be like $1 million today.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. But they were, what did they call them? The not the first couple, but they had a name. Like they were first royalty. That's what they were referred to.
Like John and Caroline were like the prince and princess of America.
Yeah, the first royal family of America.
Little side note, I had John's photo in my locker in high school. Now to continue with her just a second. So, Kennedy was also the first American first lady to hire press secretary, and she was the first one to open up the White House tour. So people in their living room got to have the tour of the White House with her. And the producers just come in. Eleanor Roosevelt. Her first name was Anna.
Anna.
I wonder if anyone called her Spanna.
Anna Roosevelt. Okay. And some people say Roosevelt.
Yes.
Instead of Roosevelt.
It's like my mother, it's like, is it Washington or Washington? I think it's just where you're from.
Washington. I'll wash your windows for you. Yeah. And the roof in the rough.
That's it. Rough. Now, okay, I'll jump into Claudia Alta. I had a great grandmother with the name Alta. Lady Bird Johnson made highway beautification and environmental protection key causes as the first lady.
Yeah, this roadway is maintained and beautified by
yes, that's
Johnson
right.
and Johnson. Yeah. So Lady Bird. So she had the name same. Did she change it to have the same initials as her husband?
I think that was just her nickname.
Both came out to LBJ.
That's right.
And Betty Ford.
Destigmatized.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
Stigmatized. Jeez, that's a big word.
It is. She made it not so yucky.
Yeah, addiction and promoting recovery.
That's right. Yeah. We got the Betty Ford Clinic.
Yeah, well, I guess she knew about it.
Yeah, that's right. And there's a quote from her too. She's like, no one ever thought I was an alcoholic. I never finished a bottle. I never, acted like I was drunk. So that's why it's the big secret.
Oh, well, she was a good drinker then.
She was. That's why she was, now. And so she should have talked to Nancy because she was famous for her Just Say No campaign.
Yeah. Well, that was drugs.
That was drugs and drug abuse. Yeah. I do remember that.
And then Hillary ran point on Billy's healthcare policy.
Yep.
So she ran alongside his top deputies in her own office.
Yes, and she was in the West Wing. I think she had her first lady office in the East Wing, and then she had that office in the West Wing.
And she was just wanting to get into Bill's office.
That's all right. Yeah, came very close.
Yeah.
Now, Laura Bush was a librarian by trade and made childhood literacy as her major cause.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she used to read all the books. I remember that.
Yeah, it was. And Michelle Obama used her platform to take on childhood obesity, particularly Let's Move, and trying to, and the My Plate. So instead of the pyramid at home, and even here now at schools, instead of having the pyramid, they have My Plate. And that's what it looks like. You should have this much meat and this much that. So they changed that. Mm-hmm. And to quote my mother, bit of early feedback, she goes, Michelle kept trying to feed him vegetables and he just wanted Five Guys.
Okay. So who are we up to?
Melania.
So Melania.
Melania.
Oh, Mamma Mia. Created Be Best, the program to discourage cyberbullying.
Yes.
And do you know that also she's a polyglot?
Her eye? Wait, no, is it?
No, I didn't know what polyglot was.
Tell me.
So polyglot means that she is able to speak a number of different languages.
Right. I think it's 7.
So she speaks English, French, German, Italian, and of course her native language is Serbian.
Serbian, yes.
So I didn't know that neither. Polyglot.
Polyglot?
Hopefully that comes up next week on the trivia night.
That would be very good. Yes. And Joe Biden at the present is focusing on championing policies designed to support military families, as she is the mother of a son in the military.
And I got one more. Florence Harding.
Yes.
Now, she was during Prohibition, but she tended bar for her husband, Warren, right?
Warren G.
Yeah, Warren G. for his poker nights.
So
he had poker parties in the White House, and they were still serving the alcohol. Well, they had to drink up what was left over, and they couldn't let it go to waste.
That was the law. If you had it, you could finish it up.
Yeah. Well,
but do you find it's very interesting?
They kept on inviting the ambassador from Canada over.
That's right.
Yeah, but just don't bring no cake. Just bring some of that Sigma 7 and
that's right. Here's
Canadian
your hostess
Club.
gift. Yeah. How come they let the wife in on the poker night though? That is interesting.
No, she was tending bar.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
It's like Winston Churchill having a doctor's note to say you drink.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
That is exactly it. Now the next topic.
Worst food in the White House.
Oh, I read this and it was horrible. Now
the winner is.
It is. You go ahead.
So we're not going to go first to last? No. And the winner is Franklin and Eleanor Roosevelt. Well, I think because they were so into everything else, food was secondary to them.
Well, no, he was a foodie.
He was.
Yeah, and
Oh.
he must have.
So she just didn't like to cook.
Well, because of her
I know what that is.
status,
Yeah.
she never learned to cook. She never really cooked because she always had servants. The only thing she did have one special dish. She would cook scrambled eggs in a chafing dish.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I can't. Well, so now during the Great Depression, Eleanor oversaw a White House of culinary austerity with the help of Cornell University School of Home Economics, which she went to before they moved into the White House.
Mhm.
She devised a 7.5-cent meal menu designed for nutrition and economy, but not enjoyment.
Yeah,
And
that's why it was only 7.5 cents.
That's right.
Even that was not that much money.
Oh, so just you wait, Phil.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
she shared these with President Roosevelt and their guests. So this is an account from an unfortunate guest who was attending one of these meals. The meal started abruptly with a main course of stuffed eggs prepared as plainly as possible by mashing 5 hard-cooked yolks with a teaspoon of vinegar and a half a teaspoon of minced onion. It gets better.
Oh,
A
God.
thin coat of tomato sauce
Probably
covered the
ketchup,
eggs.
yeah.
That's right. Which were served hot, accompanied by mashed potatoes and whole wheat bread.
Very
Now,
appealing.
after you had-
what wine did they mix with that?
Well, dessert was a small portion of pudding made chiefly from prunes, flour, and water. Festive it wasn't. Nevertheless, this was a luncheon for 6 at the White House on March 21, 1933. Less than 3 weeks after Franklin Roosevelt's first inauguration, the president, a sophisticated, enthusiastic food lover, was not at the table.
He was in the toilet from the yesterday's pudding. Yeah.
Now, and I am a fan of of Hemmingway and the great writers in our time. And after dining at the White House in 1937, Ernest Hemingway wrote in a letter, "We had a rainwater soup, followed by a rubber squab, a nice wilted salad, and a cake some admirer had sent in. An enthusiastic but unskilled admirer." He learned to take up the habit of another frequent White House diner who ate 3 sandwiches at the airport before heading to dinner at the Roosevelts.
Yeah, I'm not too hungry. I'll just have a cup of tea. Thank you.
So here's some more examples.
Yeah.
Like
it goes on.
It goes on. Like gelatin salad, odd preparations of fruit and vegetables weren't uncommon in this era, but certainly sounded strange. Now, this was actually served at the White House.
Yeah.
A bobo tea salad, a mix of cold rice, bananas, chicory, curry powder, and almonds tossed together in French dressing and Worcestershire sauce. Worcestershire sauce. Or, it gets better. Wait. Or the pineapple slices rolled in a crushed peppermint candy, served as an appetizer.
That doesn't sound too bad. The pineapple, you think about pineapple and mint.
But wait.
No, if it's only by itself.
Yes.
Yeah. Right.
Or the pear salad with cream cheese, chives, and lettuce, which I've seen that on a diet plate in the 70s.
That's what kids make when they get out of the kitchen.
Yeah.
I know.
It's just everything in.
7 cents.
Oh.
Today, after hundreds of scholars, journalists, friends, aides, admirers, and scandal seekers have analyzed every traceable minute of the Roosevelts' lives, it's still difficult to explain the resilience of Eleanor's inextricable. I can't say it. I got it.
Inextricably.
That's right. No. Dreary cuisine. The most powerful man in America couldn't kill it.
He killed him. Yeah.
That's exactly right.
Yeah. All right. Now here's a selection of food from the White House and their favorite dishes. So that was the worst. Now these are better.
Yeah. So there's the only way is up, Phil.
Yeah,
the only way is up.
All right. So Jacqueline Kennedy,
yes,
poached salmon, of course.
Was her favorite.
So she brought a bit of French flair to the Washington White House, hired Gallic chef Renaud Vendon. Jackie wanted to show her sophistication to the U.S. in the eyes of the world. In the Cold War, we had come of age, and she felt that it must be considerably equal to England. Well, England would be pretty easy to beat in
but
France
you got the
and
Queen.
Russia.
She's a bit fancy at her dinner parties.
Yeah, cucumber sandwiches.
That's right. Now, Lady Bird Johnson, she was known for her pecan pie. Lady Bird actively supported her husband by doling out her foolproof pecan pie recipe to prospective voters while traveling down south. And she also served peach preserves at each meal. Most of the fruit was from their place in Texas.
Yeah, which makes sense. Yeah,
It does. And
support
a little
around.
taste of home.
Yeah, and then Pat Nixon, meatloaf.
That's right. Well, I can see Pat and Richard sitting down to a nice and his big glass of milk with it.
Pat would take special care to prepare it using ground beef, white bread, and margarine. Margarine. It's like margarine, but margarine. Never used margarine in my life.
Marjoram.
Yeah.
The herb.
It's an herb.
Yeah, it's because really nicely in eggs and a lot of French things. I've got some in there, but I would never put it in my meatloaf. But that's just me. No offense to Pat. Mm-hmm. Now, Betty Ford, waffles. Betty loved simple American food and most particularly favored budget-friendly meals like a spread of waffles, pure maple syrup, strawberries, and orange juice.
Yeah. Oh, and who doesn't like waffles? She probably used to go to the Waffle House all the time.
She might have. And, she was also a fan of
Well, she would have gone to the Waffle House because during the 70s, you know what the biggest thing was? What the truck is. 10-4, Big Lady, Big Mama. So she was first mama on the CB radio. Breaker. I'm going to the Waffle House. First mama's on the Waffle House on I-95. Yeah.
Oh, well, there you. And she also was a big fan of tuna casserole. They were just plain as.
Now here's Rosalind Carter with a cheese ring. I would think, it does have a cheese ring.
It's like a cheese ball.
Like a cheese ball, yeah, but in a ring. So make it a little bit fancy. But I thought she would definitely be into more like the pimento cheese.
Me too. Me too.
Probably she did serve that also.
I would say so.
Yeah.
And so,
and Lady Bird definitely.
Oh yeah, that's right. And so now she used strawberry preserves were the secret. And if you want to find the recipe, there we have a few recipes we might be putting up on our Instagram too. But the cookbook, there's Carter Family Favorites by Cecil Dyer. So when I found a cookbook involved with the family, I threw it in there.
Okay, and then. The next one, Nancy Reagan. Now, Nancy also, she elevated the first lady, I think, just as, Jacqueline Kennedy did. So between Jacqueline and Nancy was a big gap.
Well, you look at
this. She just brought it back up again.
Yeah, and the 60s and the 80s were times of, indulgence and, and all the extravagance. But can I tell you, it was so hard to find any record of anything that Nancy Reagan liked. Now, I would like to say to everyone, this was not a partisan effort because I can't find anything. It doesn't just, I can't do it. So this is someone actually went to a restaurant with her and they said, oh, your usual. And then so they wrote down chilled tomato soup with a salad, which goes with her red theme.
Yeah, her red thing. And also she was like almost anorexic.
Well, and actually it looked like she probably didn't eat much at all.
But she was going to the psychic all the time.
That's
true.
To
run the country.
And, it followed the, Merv Griffin had that theory about famous people or people he would put on TV.
Yeah.
Big heads.
Big heads.
Like
because she
large
has a skinny
head, small
body.
So like Vanna White and all the people he hired had big heads. Now, during the course of Reagan's 2 terms in office, they hosted 55 state dinners. So that is, again, elevating the socializing and hundreds of other events. And you can get a cookbook, Entertaining at the White House with Nancy Reagan by Peter Schifano and Jonathan Joseph.
There you go. And now we got Barbara Bush.
She was the only first lady I found. They were all different. They're just like everyone.
Yeah.
But she just seemed to love everyone with food. Like she loved food. She loved cooking. She loved family. So she was quite a pleasure to read about.
Yeah. And she loved quiches.
Yes. Oh. And there's an 80s.
Yeah.
There's the 80s. Yeah.
Quiche Lorraine, mushroom quiche, and then patriotic dishes. So I guess she made everything popular. Red, white, and blue cobbler. Don't ask me what the blue was. Oh, blueberries.
Blueberries,
cherries. Including cherries and blueberries.
And then if you serve it with ice cream, vanilla, then you got your red, white, and blue.
Yeah, and you found another cookbook.
I did.
Yeah, so the Bush Family Cookbook.
So it's got 200 recipes accompanied by photos and some anecdotes from George HW, and Barbara Bush's personal chef.
Yeah. And then we got to old Hillary.
Hillary?
She's back in again. So Hillary Rodham Clinton, lamb.
Loved lamb.
Yeah, that's very unusual from somebody from Arkansas.
She's from Chicago.
Even from Chicago.
Yeah,
anywhere in the Midwest. They don't even know what lamb is. They just, they remember that the little puppet on TV.
Lamb chop.
Lamb chop, yeah. That's about the, when I go back to see my sister in Kansas or whatever, my nieces and all that, lamb is nowhere to be found in any restaurant.
Well, it's funny. It was a rare thing at home, and my dad loved it, and he got so excited when this was the land of lamb. Now, part of her theory behind it was she was trying to get a mix of American food from all the regions and global cuisine. So recognizing the immigrants that have come to do that. And that was her idea behind revamping the White House food.
Yeah. And see, like my mother always had lamb. She was an immigrant. So there you go.
Yeah, that's
we had
right.
Lamb was pretty common in my family, in my household, not with my aunts and my uncles and all that, but like we always had a Sunday roast, and probably every third one was a leg of lamb.
Oh,
in between
beautiful.
the chicken and roast beef.
Do you know? It used to be really bad because my dad, when I go to his house, if we had lamb, he would then tell my stepmother how good my mother's leg of lamb was, like inferring that maybe hers was not as good. I don't know.
Now we got Laura Bush going back to what started it all.
That's right.
The cowboy cookies. So she was known for her popular cowboy cookies, and one of her favorite things to eat, and simpler demands in the kitchen: ready-made spare ribs, smoked turkey breasts, and prepackaged foods. Now I can see them having a lot of barbecues.
Yeah,
and especially his father. His father I can imagine the barbecues. His father would have been like JR.
Well, that's right.
And a little fight in the background, just throw him in the pool. That's all.
Well, and Laura Bush spent her time up to then not only being, a political wife and, and a corporate wife for George, she had twins to run after. So she's a busy person. So it makes sense that she has things that they enjoyed and used.
And Michelle Obama, garden vegetables. Now that fits in with what she was all about during the presidency, that eat healthy, exercise, play.
Yeah. And she started the kitchen garden there. That's still at the White House. Now, again, this is not a joke. Melania Trump, I could not find anything she liked.
No,
except
picky.
There is that picture of her eating like a platinum necklace, it's on the cover of a magazine. But then I cracked the code. Okay, she loves healthy eating, which you would not guess that. Yeah, I mean, of course you'd guess that. She loves breakfast, and
it never went off to her husband, the healthy eating.
No, someone has to be healthy in the house. I wonder what Barron likes, because that would be confusing. So she likes a bowl of oatmeal or a nutritious smoothie, and one of Melania's. So this is my eureka moment when I found a meal. One of her favorite meals is chicken parmesan from Jean Georges, located inside Trump Tower, New York City.
Looking at the takeaway,
She probably flew it back in. That's why she didn't want to move into the White House for a while. And then, do you know what? Here we go.
And she has the same thing.
Joe Biden, because who's Italian. So she understands, so hers is Parmesan chicken. She understands the importance of gathering with loved ones around the table. And she has shared her Parmesan recipe around, so it's available. And it's a family favorite.
And she said it in Parade magazine. Remember Parade magazine?
I love when I go visit my mom. I'm like, ooh, Parade.
After you go through all the coupons.
That's right. I love the coupons. I was trying to explain that to Brendan, but we'll talk about that in the future too.
Now we get some older first ladies from way back.
Back when. These are some dishes they were known for. So things.
So we got Dolly Madison.
Dolly Madison.
That's a Dolly Parton, yeah.
That's right.
Dolly Parton Madison. That would be like a Jeopardy type question, where you got to do two things together. And she had the Dolly Madison cake. Now, I never knew she had a cake. I always knew she had ice cream.
She had a cake. And then, on the West Coast, we took her as our hostess. So we had the little Dolly Madison cakes.
Oh, that's
Remember
right.
that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
But, yes, this one, she was a good baker, and it was a caramel cake. So it's a chocolate cake with the caramel sauce dripping in the layers.
But she had a bad habit.
Tell me.
She chewed tobacco.
Oh, so did my grandma, not my mother's mother, my dad's mother.
I can't see somebody cooking a cake and chewing the back, especially a caramel cake. Yeah. Was that the caramel, or did you
I'm
spill
sure
the
she had a very fancy spittoon
spittoon,
nearby her.
Okay.
Now, Sarah Polk. So she had a hickory nut cake, which is very American because it's one of the few Native American nuts. So that cake was named after her. It was popular in the 1800s. Now you can still find the recipe around, but you can use
Where are you going
other
to get
nuts
hickory
in it.
nuts from?
Well, I say you can use other nuts, but I think I'm just trying to
Like
think.
walnut or?
Well, I think Tennessee, like South,
Mm.
but I don't know. Farmers markets down there, but I'm sure you'd be able to special order them. But you can use something else as well.
Yep. And then we got Mary Todd Lincoln. White almond cake.
Now, I want to make this because this sounds good.
Mm.
Now, if someone says they're making a Mary Todd Lincoln cake, they're referring to white pound cake with almonds. Rumor has it she made it for Abe before they were married. It's said to be his favorite and was served at the White House.
Right. And then we got Bess Truman, the Ozark pudding.
That's right.
Yeah. So does it have Mountain Dew in it? No.
No, it doesn't. But it's good old Appalachian. So she's got it's a macaron inspired pecan pie.
Oh, that should be interesting.
So made with apples and pears. And it looks really interesting. I've looked up a few recipes. So I would love people, if anyone tries any of these, let us know. I might get to it myself.
Or if you have already. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mamie Eisenhower, her favorite food was leftovers. I wonder why.
That's it.
Yeah. So, like Eleanor, Mamie was the thrifty in the kitchen. She had a knack for turning leftovers into another sufficient meal. Like she cooked. You know,
I think because you'll see she was a military wife, so I think she just checked where everything was going.
Yeah. So and managed the family's finances for years. She kept account of the leftovers. Okay, we got 3 turkey legs and
that's right. That's right. And she used to say she could squeeze $1 until the eagle screamed.
Ooh.
But more power to Mamie. The family has to pay for the food. So they pay for their food.
What? Not now.
Well, then they did. We don't. No, but in the White House, you have an account and that you have to, it's your family.
Yeah. So you got to feed them out of your
That's
account.
exactly right. So if they made turkey, she looked at it and goes, well, you'll be making turkey hash out of that tomorrow.
All right. Yeah. So she wants to keep that. But if they didn't spend the money, they probably never got it.
Yeah. That's right.
It's not like, oh, well, we saved $58 this week, so where's my check? All right. So now we go more trivia because we've known trivia all along. At least I have.
Yes.
So back to Dolly Madison. Now you spelled it differently here than the first time.
I know. I'm sorry. Or maybe it could be how it was done.
So she was the first wife credited with the importance of bipartisanship in the U.S. politics, which we probably could do a good dose of that.
We absolutely could. Do you remember when people used to like shake hands and talk about stuff and go,
they
yeah,
still
that'd be
do,
good,
but not in public.
No, that's right. Yeah. There's sort of when important things were important,
like
there was a united front.
Now they're like wrestlers, you know? So they're just, after the match, they go back to the locker room.
Have a beer.
They're having a beer, and then they go out to eat, and they're all chummy. They're on the same airplane, and then when they're in the ring, they're fighting again.
That's right.
Yeah. I mean, it even happens here.
It does. Oh, it does.
Oh, even to more of an extreme.
Now, what I found most important about this, Phil, I thought it was quite funny because this is the New York Historical Society said this. So the bipartisanship didn't exist to the point where people would get into duels. They would get into fisticuffs. They would challenge each other to duels. People would die. So she had these meetings in her presence with other ladies there because the men wouldn't act like that in front of the ladies.
Yeah.
So that's where she just got a bit of civility back into it.
But, you know, in all saying, if you look at the difference between American politics of when they're going at each other in Congress or even after when they're on just doing a chat or whatever, you know, they're much more polite to their opponents than they are here.
Depending at times. I'm finding it, you know what? I'm finding all politics in the last 20 years a bit ugly, or last 15 years a bit ugly.
Yeah.
And
it's all low.
Yeah, it is low. So we will move on from that.
So Mary Todd Lincoln before marrying Big Abe,
Yes.
she dated Stephen Douglas.
Yes.
One of his rivals. Whoa, that must have went over big. So in the 1860 election, according to the Ohio State University. So she was,
Well, and the rules for
almost like two-timing.
Well, no, maybe she just, I don't know. Maybe Mr. Douglas let her down and,
Well, he didn't become president.
Yeah, that's it. So she went for a winner.
Yeah, nothing for me here.
But the rules of debate, it's Douglas. I can't think of the whole name of it, but it's from those debates. Oh, it's Lincoln Douglas debates, but it's like the style of it. So, yes, Mary went out with both of them and came out the winner.
Yeah, I like the next one.
Yes, I love this too.
Lucy Hayes, first lady to graduate from college.
Good on her.
Her time as the first lady, perhaps best known for banning alcohol from the White House.
Boo.
Yeah. And earning the nickname Lemonade Lucy. It's like the Juicy Lucy hamburger served with Lemonade Lucy.
I bet they said it very quietly in the halls behind her back.
Yeah, that was according to the History Channel.
Yes.
Now that was a good series. That was also with Ken Burns doing that about Prohibition.
Oh, yeah.
His
stuff's
stuff
great. Now, Grace Coolidge, First Lady. I love this story. Because we talked about this at Thanksgiving. Yeah. Grace Coolidge caused someone to be seen at the 1927 White House Easter egg roll when she brought along the family's pet raccoon, Rebecca. Of course you named it that. According to the History Channel, Rebecca clawed at the First Lady and some children before she had to be taken back to her quarters for safety. Now, that raccoon is the raccoon that was sent to the family for Thanksgiving as meat. It's like, kill it and eat it. So he pardoned that raccoon.
Probably had rabies too, yeah.
Well, that was it. So, there's the most interesting pet in the White House as well.
Yeah. And Bess Truman, when her husband was elected to U.S. Senate in 1934, Elizabeth Truman worked in the office as a secretary. Harry Truman said his wife was hardworking and earned every cent I paid her. Yeah,
I don't think he paid her. I bet he didn't pay her back
He
then.
doesn't seem, he looks like a tightwad anyway.
Now, Betty Ford, I love this too. And I don't know if you remember. I remember seeing this picture. It's right before they were out of office. And she's standing on the cabinet table. Yeah. And she's in a pantsuit, a black velvet 70s, very, and she had danced on the table. So it was pictured in January 19th, 1977, the last day of Ford's presidency. The First Lady is seen standing barefoot on top of the cabinet room, white table. While the photo is striking because of where she's pictured dancing, the fact that she's wearing pants was also significant. At the time, women were not yet allowed to wear pants in the Capitol. Wow. And wearing pants in public was still considered unacceptable for first ladies, according to the National First Ladies Library. We have come a long way.
Yeah, come a long way, baby.
That's it.
Some of those Virginia Slims. Yeah.
We have a lot of young women that work for us, and I went to them. I went, check this out. How far have we come in just a short period of time? I was 8 years old.
All right, and President Ford, that poor guy, he got
Chevy chased.
Probably most people, they looked at a picture of Chevy Chase and said, "Oh yeah, that's President Ford, ain't it?" Yeah,
that is exactly right.
All right, so we're going to wrap this up and go into our final segment right after the break. Okay, we're back, and we're going to get the Hoover out and do some housekeeping. I say that every week.
I know, but this time we've got a Hoover in there. So now the code.
Oh, yes, we do.
Yeah, see. Okay, again, the code for the month of March is
madness.
On the USA Foods website, you can click on the listener discount code. That'll give it to you, or you can also search for it as well. The store's open 7 days a week. You can check the site for hours. Subscribe to our podcast, which is great, and it gives more people a chance to listen to it. Share and engage with the podcast at podcast@usafoods.com.au.
And now, do we have any Sean Superstore specials?
We do. Yes, we do.
And what are they today?
Today we've got Cracker Jacks, good old all-American treat.
Yeah, these are not in the box, but these
They're not in the box, in the bag.
Package one. Yeah.
There's a prize in every bag.
Yeah, it's not. It's crap now. Sorry.
Sorry. We think it might be maybe a tattoo or something.
Yeah. Oh.
Rub-on tattoo. Could be good.
That's keeping up with the times.
That's exactly right. Now that's 1 1/4 ounce bag. It was $2.49, and for this special, it will be down to $1.50.
Whoa.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
and now we have on.
We got Lucky Charms
In time for St. Patty's Day.
That's
past St. Patty's Day now.
but that's okay.
Yeah. But you can still celebrate St. Patty's Day anywhere you want.
That's right. And if you're tired, you can have it for dinner.
Yeah.
You can.
And it's also good after a hangover from the.
And luckily, one of my children moved out, so there's no fight about someone eating all the marshmallows out of it. Now that is on special at the moment.
And speaking of marshmallows,
well, I have to give the prices, Phil.
Oh, give it!
You're so crazy. So,
this is a big box, 18.6
it's
ounces.
the family size, and it was $14.99. It's now down to $11.99.
Oh, and it's gluten free.
Yep.
So it's right on the box.
That's it.
Okay, and speaking of marshmallows, you can put these ones into your cereal, and they'll float. It's the Peeps.
Oh, Peeps.
Everybody loves Peeps.
Peeps. Everyone wants Peeps, and guess what? We got the Peeps.
And you get 10 chicks.
That's right. So this one is the one on special, but we have a wide selection, so just check them out.
And this one really should be like the most popular one too, so you're lucky.
That's right. It's cotton candy. It has got 10 chicks in it, and it was $4.99. It's down to $3.50.
Whoa.
And
with 10 chicks, $3.50, that's 35 cents a chick.
And they, you can make s'mores with them too. And Brendan, I'll deal with you later.
Chicken s'mores, yeah, that'd be the southern version.
That's
chicken
right.
and s'mores.
Oh my God.
Okay, and last but not least,
yes, we've got the Coffee Mate original liquid creamer singles, 180 count.
So you can take them with them, put it in your pocket.
That's right.
Put it in your pocketbook.
So now it started out at $37.99. It's in special. It's on special in the shop for $25. But for the podcast, we've taken another $5 off.
Could you? When does this happen?
It's crazy. And that's also good when the boss doesn't know about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you can find out, and he's finding out now. So you can get these Wednesday, the 23rd of March to Tuesday, the 30th of March. No code needed.
Yep. Be in, be quick.
That's right.
Offer expires.
Now, also, we're going to do an in-store show.
Oh, but we don't know what date yet.
Yes.
We got a few days floating around. Be sometime within the next 30 days or so.
Yes, so we will let you know that's happening.
Because we want you to come down.
Yeah.
Say hello. Get our autographs. Like nobody wants them. And I'm not signing any checks.
Oh, you can spin the wheel and win goodies.
Oh, yes. That's the wheel of misfortune. Yeah. Can't say fortune because then it's the
then that's
then we have to pay Merv Griffin some money. Yeah. All right. So customer feedback.
I feel like I need a coffee after that. Yes, customer feedback.
Gotta get excited.
Excited.
All right.
Okay, hang on. I'm looking for my feedback. It's over there.
Okay.
Shut up.
There it is.
Okay. Brendan Francis. Dear Lord. Lord love a duck, to quote Dennis Bruns, a guy I worked with.
Yeah.
I love that. He knew things were bad when you go, Lord love a duck. That's the end of it. So the feedback we've got. Now, okay. Liz J, our friend who watches or listens to us on YouTube. So she said we're talking about cheap eats last week. She goes, tonight is spaghetti sauce night in this house because my neighbor gave me about 20 small Roma tomatoes. Chili is a good cheap dish too. 1 pound of ground beef, 1 can of Campbell's tomato soup, 1 can of kidney beans, lots of chili powder, makes at least 4 meals for one.
And to top off some cheese, melt on it. That's even better.
Oh, yeah. Or get some crackers and crush them on top.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Now, also, we have feedback from my mother. She really liked the last episode because there's quite a lot of feedback.
She likes me. I know.
She does like you. It's a bit nauseating, really, but I love it. But okay, it occurred to her as she was listening, cinnamon toast was the precursor, or maybe just the less expensive version of Pop-Tarts, and maybe that's why she buys the frosted brown sugar ones,
Okay,
which are my
never
favorite
thought of
too.
that. Because a lot of kids like to press their bread down, gets better. Yeah.
And she said a great cheap eat that you can do at home, but Wendy's are doing it, so you can get it at Wendy's as well.
Wendy's in America.
Yes, not here. Yes, is baked potato with chili and shredded cheese on top. Now she also said, but my great grandmother was the queen of leftovers, so her son, my grandfather, would never touch them. So my grandma always had to come up with something new for him. And speaking of lamb. My great-grandparents used to go to my mom and dad's house for dinner during the week, and mom would cook a leg of lamb. And my grandmother not only loved it, but loved all the dishes she could make with it. So she'd take it. She'd take the leftovers and she'd have sandwiches or make a stew or anything else.
Gravy sandwiches.
That's it. And she had her cheap side dish, or the way she likes pasta is, because I think like the pans and stuff are really heavy for mom now. And so she will make a bunch of pasta.
Right.
Al dente. And she will then, stir some olive oil through it. So it's it. And she'll put that in a Ziploc and then use that for during the week and make side dishes. Yeah. So
just
it doesn't stick together.
Heat it up or microwave,
So she will put so what she does is for a side dish is in the pan she'll put olive oil and butter and just cook it a bit and heaps of cracked pepper and Parmesan on it.
Need garlic salt to it.
Yeah.
Oh, some garlic powder.
I don't know. You need garlic in that. Yes. I don't know how my mother cooked anything without garlic. We must have missed that in the conversation. And she also makes fish tacos with fish sticks in a pinch.
Mrs. Paul's fishes.
That's right. She goes, I haven't done that in a while. She goes, I heard it. And I had to think, I better go get some. And feedback from Leslie.
Yep.
Bit terse. So you ready? So when Phil said that you can't taste the difference between a red or green bell pepper once it's cooked, Leslie's response, the hell you can't.
Maybe because I don't buy that many red peppers because they cost more than the green ones.
That's right.
Like 3 times more.
She goes, now it's just the two of us. I only buy the yellow. So if she can. And then she gave me one time when we have time. So the family secret to our stuffed bell peppers.
Oh.
Yes, so we might hang on to that. Or if we have time, we might say it. Never know.
Okay. And then you got any more?
Nope. That is our feedback.
Muffy.
No, she has a nugget for us.
Oh, the nugget.
She's like our special nugget guest.
Okay. She's going to give us a lot of different nuggets that we're going to spread over.
That is exactly right.
Okay. So now we got personal best products.
Okay. It's your turn.
Now, I just have a brand new one.
Yes.
Oh, because I never would have bought it or ate it myself or make it because I don't bake cakes.
We know.
Okay. But Jeanette was going to a function today with the ladies. And of course, they're always intolerant of something. Their husbands, gluten, So anyway, so I brought home from her the King Arthur gluten-free chocolate cake. And she made that. And of course, she did it in muffins and like a little flat cake also. Because it makes a lot.
Oh,
so
great.
She added out one box. She made that like a dish size, maybe 2-inch high, like cake top with icing on it. She put chocolate icing on it. And then she made about a dozen muffins out of it.
Oh, yeah, that's all. American cake mixes do give you more.
Well, this is a big box.
Yeah.
So it goes a long way. My surprise was I had it thinking that, it's going to taste like gluten-free, and then I'll be intolerable of eating gluten-free foods.
You're going to be in a bad mood the whole day.
Yeah. But it was really moist and tender and nice and chocolatey and very pleasant.
I did sample a bit,
yeah,
and it was really good. And especially because sometimes they go really crumbly really quickly.
No, this was moist.
It was lovely. Yeah. It was really good. And a lot of people call or crisp or send in notes going, can you get King Arthur flour? So we don't have the flour, but we do have the mixes.
Well, let me throw this out there because now that we tried the one King Arthur stuff, because they're like in competition, probably like with Bob Redbird or whatever his name is. Yeah. And but we could get quite a bit of products. So if you guys are out there going to buy it, I mean, I don't know what the difference between one flour and then the other.
Higher protein in the quinoa
Higher protein
is one of the things.
Okay, so maybe we'll look for the odd ones that they carry that won't be here, like not an all-purpose or baking flour, but something.
Yeah, and a complement.
Yeah,
sort of what's here.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
See, that's what happens, and we tried and we like it.
Now we got our nugget time.
Knowledge nuggets.
The golden nugget. Well, do you want to bring up some of the Muffy's nuggets?
Okay, so what we've done, because she has given us a treasure trove, so we are going to do one or two over the next few weeks. So we picked one for today.
Yep.
So she let us know, and she talked to her mother about this too. So she and her mother got together. A splash of vinegar in the water when poaching an egg helps set the egg white.
Yeah.
So when you do it, I think Ainsley didn't know that. I told her later. Because Ainsley, my 19-year-old, she is magic with the poached egg.
Oh.
She has.
So that's a nice skill, that.
I know. It's like she perfected it, and she's got it all going, and I'm very impressed with her.
I gave up on that about 20 years ago, trying to make a poached egg.
Well, I'll let her do it now, because she's better than me. She wins.
At least she's got to do something.
That's right.
But when you want a poached egg, you'll be calling her. She won't come down. Yeah.
She's like, no, don't feel like it. Yeah, I had one yesterday.
All right. So you want to go first?
I will. Very simple. Sometimes if you're not using homemade broth, and you get a box of, stock that you're using,
like that big jar of clam juice we got at the shop.
That's right. Sometimes you end up with just a stupid little amount left over that's not going to make another soup or anything. So I put that in ice cube trays and freeze it. So it's about an ice cube tray is about a tablespoon and a bit.
Or more. It depends on the size of the ice cube tray.
That's right. So once they freeze, stick them in Ziploc. So when if something's a bit too thick, you can add stock to it. If you're making, a rice or couscous or something, you can use that just to add a little bit of flavor. It's not wasteful. And also, when you get a jar of tomato paste, it always, if you don't. Sometimes they're too big, and you don't get through it before they start getting mold on top.
That's why you buy the tubes now.
Yes. But I find that, yes, I do get tubes as well. But I will, with the jars, I started freezing that as well.
Oh.
So I use it for what I need it.
And then you freeze it. Yeah.
Yep. And then I know it's tomato paste because you only ever need a tablespoon.
Yeah. So, and the other key about it.
Tell me.
Right. This is one of the chefs on TV.
A Nugget Plus.
A Nugget Plus is you saute to take the bitterness out of the tomato paste.
Right.
So in your hot pan, a little bit of olive oil or whatever. So, and then you put your tablespoon of your paste into the hot pan and you saute it a bit, and then you add your other stuff.
Oh, wow. So mellows it a bit.
Yeah.
Oh, I
takes
like
the bitterness out of it.
Ooh, I like that idea.
Probably better with butter too. Like you put a little butter in and then saute it into that butter. Put your spoon in there and switch it around and then throw your other stuff in.
Oh, yum. Okay, now Phil, it's yours.
My go. So this thing, you could slice it, you could dice it. It does everything, and we don't use it. Nobody uses it. Well, a lot of people use it in other parts of the world, but Americans and probably Australians don't use it like they should. A scissor.
Yes.
Now, I have gotten the idea, going to Korean restaurants and they cut your meat on the little barbecue thing with scissors, but that never clicked into me.
Right.
And then I was watching, I think it was Rick Stein, because I watch him a lot, or Jamie, and he made mention. He said, "Why ain't we using this to cut meat? Like the Koreans and stuff, to cut meat, to cut vegetables and all that. Use the scissor. It's so much easier." And you think about it, when you want to cut like green beans and you want to cut the ends off, done. And if you want to cut celery, or if you want to trim meat or cut chicken.
I cut bacon into little bits.
Right. Well, I'm making my pizzas, and I want to cut up my bacon and things like I use that while I'm over and it's just slicing down. It's like the magic slicer. So it dice, and then doing things like, doing the sauce, and I want parsley. Cut right to the stem. I don't have to worry about. And then, you think about it. If you cut it, you got to take it off there, cut that off, and then you got to dice it and slice. Then you got a board that's messed up. This goes right in the pan.
That is perfect, and I love that. Yeah. That is very good.
So you need I wouldn't suggest buying a big long one, like a 6-inch blade one, because
No.
then that's a bit clumsy.
Yeah,
okay.
you just need.
But one that's probably about 3 inches,
Mhm.
and I bought a Fisk, I think was
Yeah.
the name of it, and with an orange handle, fits really nice in your hand. I mean, don't buy no cheap one because you want to use it and clean it all the time and stuff
Yep.
like that. So buy a decent one. It'll probably cost you $10 to $15, but it will, will last. And put a little hook up in the closet so you could hang it up.
And make sure no one in your house cuts paper with it, and you're fine.
Oh yeah, well, if you're cutting chicken, paper ain't gonna make a difference.
I'm just having flashbacks to what happened to my sewing scissors.
Yeah.
There we go. But that is.
Yeah, I get yelled at that too.
Yes,
Jeanette.
I bet you do.
Sewing scissors. I'm cutting paper. You're cutting cloth with it. What's the difference? Yeah.
There is a difference, but that is fantastic.
Okay.
I do like that.
So we got time for goss?
Yep.
Okay. So we got goss. You got goss.
I got
goss. You got goss. We all got goss.
We've been talking so long. I've got
So what was the gossip this week?
Oh, well, this is really good. So in a world first, I got excited because it has Kentucky Fried Chicken, right? So in a world first, the fast food chain has joined forces with British chef Nellie Robinson to bring a fancy new degustation restaurant to Sydney for 3 nights only.
Wow.
And from Friday, April 1st.
April Fool's Day, of course.
Well,
right.
and then I've checked it, and it's real. Because I thought, So it's $75 and
for KFC.
For KFC, and 100% of the profits will go to charity partners Black Dog Institute, Reach Out Australia, and White Lion. And so these are the courses. So potato and gravy. This dish is a marvel to behold as the gravy candle melts. Dip your potato bun into the wax and enjoy. So they've made the gravy, like probably frozen it into a candle, and they light it.
That's not my favorite part of. I never eat the
bun.
No, the bun over here. I don't eat that, but I never eat the potato and gravy because they give you potato and gravy, and then they give you French fries. Like I don't need 2 potatoes.
I'm like, well, yes, I'm like that. Okay, and then you get the tongue twister, which is pick up your plate, and it's a face of the kernels on the plate.
Yeah.
Lick off the kernel's face to relish the flavors of Kentucky Fried Chicken, tomato, lettuce, and pepper mayo. And then you've got Twisted Sister, a fresh take on a twister with pearl barley risotto, sun-dried tomato, pumpkin, and chicken tenders.
Wow.
Then you get supercharged wings, which is served, it's like over a hibachi, so cooked over a bed of charcoal. Popcorn chicken, paired with celery soup, mushroom gnocchi, and basil, topped off in an edible floral garnish. And then you got the good old chocolate mousse for dessert.
Colonel's rolling in his grave.
Yeah, he liked making some extra money. It's like, I wonder how much we could get $75 for that.
But he'll want to cut before it goes to the
That's
charity.
Exactly right.
Okay, so that wraps up for this week. And next week's show, we're going to talk about coupons.
Well, I think
we talked about that today.
We did. I think what we're going to do, instead of coupons next week, we might put that down just a couple of weeks. Mm-hmm. And I think we might talk about mall food.
Mall,
hot dog on a stick.
Oh, God, yeah. We need pictures for that.
Yes. Well, now that Anna, our marketing whiz, has got the Instagram going, she can put some up for that. Oh, hello, Ralphie. Yeah. But, what were your favorites? Let us know, because I know my best day I was driving my 1980 Honda Civic. I'm 16 years old. I got my license that morning.
Right.
I'm a junior, so I can have 1 day a week off campus, and it was that day. I drove to the mall and got a giant Otis Spunkmeyer burrito. And I fit like 8 of my friends in the car. They're like people in the hatchback. And then I forgot that I had to have it. I didn't put it in park, so my car wouldn't start. And there was a bit of a draw. I went, I have to put it in park. And then I drove back to school.
See, I didn't have malls in my life till later.
Yes. Well, yes.
Because they didn't have them in the city. There was no malls. We were deprived.
I'm sorry, because there's
McDonald's
a whole
came
mall
out
thing.
Very late afterwards,
Oh, yeah. I remember that was my school was 2 blocks away from the mall. Mm-hmm. So it was fantastic. So that is what we'll be talking about.
Okay, so the sign off, and this is from LBJ again.
Yes.
Lady Bird.
The First Lady is and has always been an unpaid public servant elected by one person, her husband.
Oh, dig. Okay, that's it for this week, and we'll be back.
and thighs that make me feel so good. Bacon fat, I'd marry that if I only could. Stoking coals soothes my soul. I love my barbecue. Understand, I'm just a man with the pork fat baby back blues. I've known girls round the world, sweet as apple pie, candy lips and honey hips make me wanna cry. Love is fine, but so is swine. Just don't make me choose. 'Cause understand, I'm still a man with the pork fat baby back blues. I've been told you don't grow old living life this way. Maybe so, but all I know is I'm living day to day. Once you find a love like mine, you know that love is true. Understand, I'm just a man with the pork fat baby back blues. Yeah, understand, I'm still your man with the pork fat baby back blues.